All my life I've been going through this, where I have direct relationships with various free or highly empowered people about various different things. And there's a level of flexibility and interaction in that has a certain feel to it. But when you boil things down to results at the end of the day, in nearly every case you don't need to be that flexible. And people just get used to the idea that you can always renegotiate deals all the time. You don't have to get used to the fit of something. You have a fit if it doesn't fit. So, people make things more rigid. They organize people's structuring so that the people in charge say things have to follow a certain rules. I'm not going to reconsider this. And a lot of times these people didn't consider these things to begin with. This is handed down to them from somewhere. But people try to oversimplify that, because if you make things too rigid, people are just going to poke holes in it and break it down. And then it's going to be much more difficult to convince somebody to invest in self-structuring the next time somebody has to go through and repair anything, or they'll choose somebody else altogether. And this was kind of the conversation with Steve and everybody trying to talk him into staying flexible and things like that. And then everybody left or went to jail, or I don't know what all happened to everybody. And a lot of these people he was talking to, they weren't even really here, if you know what I mean. They had imaginary names here, and they may not even remember that they were ever here when we were having these discussions. And but you got to understand, everything is happening within a bunch of other different types of structures. So, there was a lot of stuff that at my level of salience I didn't need to know. And some level of stress and all that sort of stuff. And then there was just always planned for things to be this way. It's just kind of one of those things that I'm always being a rock in people's shoes if they're trying to do things that aren't, that are based on certain things that people just refuse to allow anybody to teach people that they had to not do things like that. And there's a reason why not to. And then people say a whole bunch of words really loudly about why you want to do it a different way and how you're going to get an advantage from doing things that way. And no matter how loudly anybody else tries to say any other words to the contrary, it just clicks with people's lack of self-control to do things that way. So, it's a mess. It doesn't need to be so big of a mess. And sometimes a mess is a survival advantage. So, there's some things that some people should be more flexible on. There's other things that other people should just put up with. And working all that out, takes time. And you can't work all that out every day all the time and rework it and rework it and rework it. And I was just looking at all the sales flyers and all the different products and things like that. And you want improvement, but, I could go on and on about the business model of a whole bunch of different things. And, and we just take advantage of everybody being willing to try all sorts of stuff right now. A lot of people, a few people are successful in this process and a lot of people are not. And certain products endure over time. And other people, other products, there used to be things that you only ate at specific times a year, and then other people wanted you to make it available all year round. And, the whole conversation, when do we have the time for all these conversations? So, but, yeah, and I'm always trying to do things to make everybody more productive, more relaxed, and having more capacity in general. So I didn't really stop doing that, but it's just the gases that come in from next door limit the parts of my brain that are active, and some things have to take place in a certain part of the brain, or people aren't aware that they're happening. I may still have continued those activities, but they had a different flavor.